One of the saddest things that I saw in my time in law enforcement, and even now, is how many men and women who are working are still homeless, living in their cars, living in their tents, crashing on someone's couch, or for a lot of women, especially our young girls as young as 13, believe it or not, are going from house to house, from these online dates to prostituting themselves so they don't have to sleep in the rain or in the cold. Or it's just way more riskier to sleep outside and in the streets rather than get paid a little bit and then, figure out where you're going to sleep the next day or the next 3 days when that guy who just used you decides to throw you out. These are a lot of the calls that were 22s or domestics, believe it or not, where sadly a lot of these girls, they snapped. They're like, I'm not going back outside. I've been sleeping with you for a week or 2 weeks and I want to stay here. And a lot of these dudes be like, no, you're just a hit and quit it. And I allowed you to hang out because I was hitting it, but now I don't want to hit it no more. You need to leave. And then they snap. They kill your car. They burn down your car. They do something because they're filled with so much pain, not only from the little incident that you guys had, but it's more of the generations of spiritual, of life experience trauma that has built up and now it just popped. And so you have a society where people are living paycheck to paycheck or living on the streets, and they're afraid to speak up about how hard it is to live in this world because we live in a world where we strip people of their dignity for the mere fact that they don't earn enough petrol dollars to afford a $3,000 one apartment or a $500,000 home built in the 1960s and is only a 2-2 or 1-2 with, not even the latest modern appliances. So what are we doing? Because this is unsustainable. Everyone sees that, but those who already have their savings are like, well, too bad, too sad. You should invest better. You should have did Y and Z. And those who have to still do the most laborious jobs, which is keeping this country afloat, which is the farming, the producing, the building, even the authentic killing, because drugs and alcohol and sex can only cope for so long. However, those who are really doing the works that brings in provisions that can be used in exchange for the dollars are not getting what they deserve. And it's causing such an imbalance that people are now starving because people who know how to make monopoly money, more monopoly money, are eating up the food, eating up children, polluting the land, buying up all the land, and then saying, well, we own it now, and then you have to pay us in the same currency that we gave you. Don't you see the finesse? And a lot of people see it, but they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to fight it, because if federal dollars are paying for federal grants, and all these federal grants are what's paying officers, paying schools, paying all these, organizations that's supposed to help the homeless women and children, well, you piss off the federal men. They're either going to gun you down, they're going to assassinate you, they're going to take back their money. Pretty much, they have society in a chokehold. We always knew it. Those who try to say, they got us in a chokehold when we need to break free. Now you're labeled the aggressive one. Now you're being problematic in their eyes because people have become so comfortable with just throwing money at other people to solve their problems. So, what happens when the problem comes from within? Where all the internal turmoil, because all the grief, the self-betrayal, the neglect of your own spiritual and physical and mental balance, and then on top of all the times you had to hurt someone else to make sure you survive, it starts to weigh on you. It starts to weigh on your soul. And those who've been trying to make their hearts lighter by actually saying sorry, actually trying to become better men and women, actually trying to correct the past and not follow the same footsteps that their mother or their father did, they're having a hard time because there's so many false light around them that's trying to keep them beneath them so they can continue to be exploited. And then when they snap because they're sick of it, or when they say absolutely not, now y'all want to gaslight those type of people. But everything now is being recorded in 4K. So it's going to get to the point where all men and women who are talking the talk, you need to walk the walk. And if you're not walking the walk, you need to walk yourself somewhere that's not around other families, other men and women and children who are actually trying to create something that's sustainable, safe, longevity, and is done with integrity and love that people can be proud to claim where they live, claim that what they do for a living. You know? I'm a spiritual warrior that put down the gun and badge to become a healer. But don't get it twisted as if I can't touch one of you guys from 100 yards away and I won't miss. Don't think there are not other men and women who have military training, law enforcement training, who are not willing to use their skill sets to protect their families and protect their loved ones, to protect their land, to protect what they claim God is within them. And then we're going to start to see, just by receipts and the fruits of our labor, who's been really putting in the work. Because now, as we're starting to see, it's becoming do or die. It's becoming, hey, which side are you on? Do you eat children? Do you protect children? Or are you on the fence depending on where your paycheck's coming from? You will have to answer these questions.